Covert, covered, unconscious. But who's sending the message? You can either communicate with people and say something consciously or unconsciously, okay? You can make some phenomenally amazing mistakes in communication by not thinking before you talk. Trust me, I know. Now, if we talk too fast before we put the censor button on, sometimes you say things like the truth, okay, and that really offends somebody. So you have to always grab your censor button and then like this before you actually say it, put it back in your mouth, regurgitate, think hard, and then say the politically correct thing to say, okay? Now, what happens with unconscious communication is when it's not intentional, things like leakage, like Bill Clinton using his right hand to deny when he's a left-handed person. Little stuff like that. By the way, you know what? My grandmother was still alive then. She calls the next day, hardcore Democrat from Arizona. She says, Kevin? Yes, Nana? He has friends in very high places and they're not going to be happy with what you said in the paper. It's like, oh God, now she's mad. So anyway, so when you utilize the tools I'm going to show you that are unconscious today, you can make the same mistakes of verbal and nonverbal communication that we all do every day. Or you can do all of these things intentionally to help change people. Okay, there's only three things, two or three things that increase the pupil size of somebody. One is they like you. Two is they're absolutely terrified, fear, total fear, and the other is it gets dark. Okay, dark. You know, as the lights go off, the pupils get big, which men often misperceive and miscreate. Ah, she really likes me. Now, what we did at the U of M in 1981 was we replicated a study that was done in the 60s, and this was a lot of fun. I did this with a girl. I can't remember her name, but we had a chart for, this is for nonverbal communication class, and we had 100 people we were going to interview, 100 men, 100 women. And the study was a lot of fun. We had a picture of this beautiful baby and a mom and a landscape, and we had a Playgirl cover here, and we also had a Playboy cover there, okay? So what we did is we would stop a woman and we'd say, hey, would you do us a favor? We're doing a study, and we want you to look at this little baby for a second. I'd sit there and I'd gauge the eyes, and she'd show the picture, and I'd just write down big eyes, you know, or medium or small. And what we did is we found that when women looked at the baby, their eyes would get really big. And when they looked at the baby and the mom, their eyes would get really big. And when they got at the landscape, their eyes would get a little big. And when they looked at the Playboy girl, or the Playgirl cover, you know, with the nice, good-looking guy on the cover, virtually nothing happened. My self-esteem was shot down the door right there. I was like, okay, this is not a good thing for guys, okay? We don't know what to do now. So then what we did is we did 100 guys, and we would show this beautiful baby picture to men, to college guys. And when we showed the baby picture, you know what happened with the guys? Nothing. And then we would show the picture of the baby with the mom, and you know what happened? Nothing. We would show the landscape, that beautiful landscape, to the guys. You know what would happen? Your eye contact. That's so important. You can send all kinds of messages without even knowing it. Now, let's talk about your hair for a second and your physical appearance. Did you know that in the first 4 seconds, people will judge you by what you look like? That's not fair. It's not politically correct. It's just real, okay? So now, the first thing that people see, well, depending on who it is and what the situation is, I'm talking in the office now, the first thing that people see is your face and then how you're dressed, okay? So what I want you to think about is, what do they see and how are you dressed, okay? Is that, okay, so what do? Well, here's the thing. Women, we find out from conversation and communication research, enjoy face-to-face communication. On average, when you do the work, women are very, what we call, relationship-oriented. Okay? We like to, I want to look at Marcy, I'm going to talk to Marcy face-to-face. Okay? Now, when I sit in front of Paul here, okay, Paul is not as excited about this. Guys, basically you put one man in front of another man and somebody has to move. Okay? That's essentially what we're thinking. So if we're going to sit down, we would prefer to be at a 90-degree angle. And if you ever watch men like in a sports bar, we can sit, by the way, and have a conversation over our shoulders as we talk, as we watch football. Have you ever seen women go, oh yeah, and you know what happened on the way to the party the other day? Women don't talk over their shoulders. They stop you in the hallway and block traffic out here. Okay? It is great to be here. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.